Get your mojo going, baby. Go.
Hi Malik, my
Hi,
name is
Megan.
Meghane.
Hi, Megan.
I'm here to ask you some questions about your work experience, education, and any hobbies and interests you may have. Your work is very inspiring to me, and I'm interested in learning more about what you do. My hope is that learning about your experiences can help me gain insight into creating successful practice. The interview should take around 15 to 30 minutes. Let me begin by asking you some questions about your education.
Please.
What schools did you go to?
Went to a lot of schools. Ever since I was just a little kid, right? You know, you start kindergarten. And I think I was in school for probably 25, 30 years. I was in schools. The schools that really have made a major impression and impact on my life. Baccalaureate level academia, Western medicine and sciences are nice and fun and good like that, and I understand them. I enjoy them.
Yes, I'm sorry.
And what my preference is that I started to understand more about alternative medicine back in the 60s and 70s. After doing a couple years of Western school, I dropped out. I just didn't find anything that really interested me. I took a year or two off, and then I went back to school in Boulder, Colorado, and then I went to Naropa Institute, what this time was now called Naropa University. It's a school of Buddhist psychology, which really expanded my viewpoint of the world. I was just a young man, and inside that education I had some of my classes were dealing with meditation, writing, poetry, tai chi, yoga, flower arranging. A lot of the Oriental arts and sciences were in that school. And I went there for 2 years, and then I came to Hawaii, and it was interesting. This was in the mid-1970s, and there was acupuncture and Chinese medicine was just really beginning to make a foothold in the West. So here in Hawaii, where we have a good amount of Oriental population, there was an acupuncturist Chinese medical school on Oahu and one here on Maui. Being here on Maui, I was really interested in the herbal aspects, so I went into Chinese medicine, Oriental medicine, here in Hawaii and Maui, and that was a 4-year school. And then in 1982, I applied for Beijing Medical School in China, Beijing. They just opened up to the West. I went through the World Health Organization, got accepted on a student exchange program, spent 3 years in Beijing at the Beijing Medical University, and then came back for a year, finished my doctoral work through the American Asian University here on Maui. And then back in 1989, I applied for my postdoctoral work at Chengdu Medical University. And it's in Chengdu, which is in Sichuan province, Western China, that I actually met a teacher who I followed. I became a student. I became working with him and learning how to do things, and spent really close time with him. Pretty much every day, eating in his house, sleeping on the couch, carrying his bags as we went different places. It was the complete little grasshopper kind of an education training. And then I kept on going back and back, Maui, China for another 5-6 years, spending time with my teacher now. I didn't need the formal education. I had my doctorate degree. And at the Chengdu Medical University, where I went for 3 years, I was awarded a professorship at the university because of my academic and hospital work. That they awarded me that. And I think the best school I went to is life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best school. And the best subject I had was experience. It's through life's experience that it really taught me what's real and what's not. Um, it's very simple. I've seen things in clinic that I've never seen in a textbook, and I've seen things in textbooks that I've never seen in clinic. With my, I think I got about 40 years of practice, and 50,000, probably, I think I added it up one time, and I'm probably around 50,000 patients
Wow.
that I've seen in the last 40 years, which is, that's really the education, is getting in there and seeing how it works, not just knowing the concepts, but understanding it. We know that if you show me, I may remember. If you tell me, I may forget. But if you involve me, I'll understand. So that involving is the experience, and that's really my best teacher, my best school, is through learning, through experience, hands-on. Because when you're in the clinic, you get things walking in the door that you don't know. I'm a general practitioner. I don't specialize in one field, and I'm glad I don't. Because as a general practitioner, I see that in the Western medical, there's a lot of splintering off into specialties, like gynecology, or respiratory illnesses, or oncology, or pediatrics. As a general practitioner, I get a chance to see all of it and see how it ties in, because the body is an integrated whole, and all the systems, they all work together. So if one system is going to be off, then you got to look at the other ones too. So a gynecologist may just look at the reproductive system and of the female, but take note in maybe not have anything to do with looking at the liver or the adrenals, which is also very important. So experience is my best teacher, and that's the best school. And I feel as though I have had a very good education. And it's very interesting. Also, I didn't even really get into it until I was like 25, 26 years old. Then I went, aha, this is it. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. And I just started learning and studying and learning, and I studied with and found people, and anybody I could get under who had more experience than me, I was like, can I sit in? Can I shadow you?
Yeah.
Can you teach me? Can I have some private time? And 80% of the time it was fruitful. People would say, yeah, I'll teach you, I'll show you. I think sincerity is really the key. If you're sincere, the student, if the student is sincere, the teacher, professor, whatever, knows that. You can feel it. You can feel sincerity. And I had definitely a sincere want to help, to be of service. I once sat with a spiritual teacher when I was about 21, 22 years old, and he looked me in the eye and he said, your job is to help people live. Now, I had no idea what he was talking about at the time. I was looking at music as a profession, maybe even furniture making, something like that. But then I understood, and life took me. The beauty of it is that life opened doors, I walked in them. I didn't have to force or push, and the magic continues.
That's amazing.
So that's kind of an education.
That's a huge education.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome, dear.
Next, I would like to find out about your work experience.
What would you like to know?
How long have you been practicing natural medicine?
40 years. Actually, I've been practicing on myself since I was 18, which would go back until like 1969 or something. So, but
40 plus years.
40 plus years. But you see, for myself, this is where I started to learn, and then I started to be of service and help others. When I was a little later in life, and I was in my mid-20s. But the way I was raised, vegetarianism and herbs and nutrition and things like that were just coming into vogue in the Western world, as where in the rest of the world was already using these things. But the Western world, the United States, was saturated with pharmaceuticals and commercial foods and junk. And I just said, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So I found my alternatives. So I've been doing this for professionally for 40 years now.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
What do you enjoy about your practice?
Well, there's lots of things I enjoy about it. One, it's fulfilling because I feel as though I'm on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my life purpose, and it's very fulfilling.
Yes.
I look forward to coming to work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't begrudge it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh no, it's more like, yes, I get to go in today.
Uh-huh.
I was telling a patient earlier today that in the morning I do my Tai Chi practice, but not necessarily for me. I do my Tai Chi practice before work for my patients.
Mm-hmm.
So I have enough energy and enough Chi to really help, and because we're always giving energy, we're always transmitting energy, we're always receiving energy. So that's something. Okay.
That's great. Where have you worked in the past?
Worked in the past, meaning other jobs?
Other jobs. Mm-hmm.
Well, when I dropped out of school, out of college after 2 years, I dropped out of Western school. Before I went back, I worked in a natural foods restaurant, which was a wonderful experience because that's exactly what it was, natural foods. So I worked there, and when I was in college, I worked at the Chicago Stock Exchange, the commodities market. I worked there when I was in college to pay my way through, and then I dropped out, and then I went into natural foods and got a job as in a natural foods restaurant, and that's it. And then working in health and medicine. That's it.
Very neat.
No other jobs.
Mm-hmm. What is a typical workday like for you?
A typical workday. I get up early. I do my meditation practice and my breath practice and Tai Chi practice, and I come to the office and have my breakfast and take a look at my patient load for the day and brush up on any cases I may need to do some little bit further researching on. I usually start around 8:30, 9:30 in the morning, go to 6:30, and I see patients. And it's interesting, I used to see like 3 patients at a time in an hour. And I went, no, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I spend an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the patient.
Yeah.
Because I just don't want to have to do this drive through, wham bam, here you go, okay, goodbye, take these and take 2 cookies and call me in the morning kind of thing. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no rushing.
No, so I take my time now. So a work day for me is to where I pace myself. I make sure I drink a lot of water during the day. I have a good breakfast, so I have fuel. I love having a decent lunch and a small dinner. I just try my best to really keep my concentration, to use my mind with the tools and skills that I've been given, to visualize as I'm working with the patient the cure happening and happened. I visualize that, I focus, concentration, and then I use the skills that I have been taught academically, and I trust my intuition. I've learned to trust my intuition, and also I found that insights, looking into and seeing into the situation, also is extremely valuable. So insight and intuition are some of the tools that I personally use for my workday. But it's a good workday. It's the hardest part is keeping concentration, keeping focus. Keeping the mind focused for 8 to 10 hours a day. That's the challenge. Not getting pulled off into just wandering thoughts, and just the involuntary constant bombardment of thoughts going through my head. Voice in the head always wants to speak up, but I have to take my intuition and my higher self and say, no, I got to focus. I need to stay present. I need to get to what's going on here. My job is to serve the patient. As I tell a lot of my patients, there are no incurable diseases. There are only incurable patients, because the patient doesn't want to do what's necessary to help for the healing,
Right.
which is the case in a lot of cases,
I
in
believe
a lot of
that.
situations. Yeah. So that's a work day for me. It's fun. I enjoy what, and the nice thing, I enjoy what I do.
I love that.
Yeah. I
That's
like what I do.
perfect. Yes. Next, I would like to ask you some questions about your hobbies and interests.
Go.
You already mentioned that you practice Tai Chi.
Mm.
What other martial arts do you practice?
Nowadays, I just basically Tai Chi and Qigong, the Chinese exercises, because I find that they have a lot more depth internally with energy. I have done years Ashtanga yoga, Aikido, Taekwondo over the years. I was an athlete, a triple letterman, kind of thing, baseball, basketball, football. But my hobbies, I enjoy body movement. I enjoy Tai Chi and Qigong practice a lot. Swimming, cycling, like today, went for a good strong ride this morning, early, got up and really worked my legs, which is good. Yoga is still part of my life. All life is yoga, how I look at it. It's just not the asana, the postures. That's just a small little piece of what yoga really is. So those are kind of some of my hobbies, would be movement. I love to hiking and things along these lines. Scuba diving is fun. I enjoy that. A new hobby is a friend of mine's got an airplane, and we went flying last week. And that's beginning to say, like, I think maybe I'd like to learn how to fly an airplane.
Yes.
So that was something. And the lady that I go out with, she actually flew the plane for a while.
Whoa.
Which was very interesting.
Wow.
But hobbies, I don't usually have your usual stamp collecting or butterfly board. I read a lot. I'm a reader. I'm an avid reader. Sports, I enjoy sports. I enjoy movement. I enjoy reading. I enjoy sitting down with a cup of tea with a friend and just enjoying that. Music. I don't play in music as much as I used to. I used to play a lot of music and sing with different groups and bands and stuff like that. So music is real important to me. Meditation is very important to me. That's probably the most, that keeps my head on straight, keeps my head and heart united, would be the meditative practice. So these are some of the hobbies that I enjoy in life. I enjoy living. I enjoy being with what is.
Yeah.
I enjoy letting the next moment unfold and then spontaneously go and be with what is.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Works for me.
Finally, I would like to ask about advice you would give. What would you suggest is crucial for a successful practice?
Honesty. You gotta be honest. That's all there is to it. You have to maintain honesty. No embellishing, no exaggerating, no white lies, none of that stuff. You have to be straight up. You got to keep your nose clean to have a successful practice. Yeah, you have to. You really have to focus to have a successful practice. Read that question again, because there's something else in there I wanted to
What
go
would
with.
you suggest is crucial for a successful practice?
Follow your intuition. There's an old Chinese saying that has stuck with me for the last 40 years at least. And it is that mediocrity is always in competition. Excellence is always in demand.
Nice.
Just do the best you can do. And that's all I can do.
Yeah.
There are better therapists, there are better acupuncturists, better herbalists, there's better nutritionists, there's all kinds of better, bigger, stronger than I am. But I do the best I can do. So I've been in business and practice for 40 years because I just do the best I can do. And keep it honest, keep it straight, keep it clean, stay focused, know what it is I'm doing, don't get sidetracked, don't play any games, don't let money sneak in, or don't let wow, that's a really good looking woman. Don't let that sneak in. You gotta, that stuff that's just ego mind. And when you're in your healing room, in your clinic, in the hospital, I've worked in hospitals, a lot of hospitals, you stay focused. You're there, your job, you focus on your job, and that's what you do. Don't go wandering off in your head thinking about dinner or movies or whatever. No, stay focused. Stay on track. That's the whole key. Because I find that by staying concentrated, concentration is the key to success in anything. But I find that by staying concentrated, I get energy. I don't lose energy. I get energy. More energy comes in.
Makes sense.
Because I'm staying concentrated and not just diluting, you know, and deleting energy through just wasted mind thought. No, I have to maintain a certain level of being focused. That's really what it comes down to. Just being with what is, happily accepting it with joy, enthusiasm, and go for it. You know? So if I had to give someone some advice, maybe like a young person who is interested in this field, I'd say study. You see, that was the thing for me, and that's why I became such an avid reader.
You probably still study.
Every day. Every day I spend at least a half hour to an hour reading, going on things, researching, a lot of researching. I do a lot of researching because I always want to know more. You know, I want to know how come, I want to know why, I want to know how can I be of service to this patient, this person. I look at them as being an incarnation of the divine, so to speak, and it's my job to be of service to them. So if I had to give someone some advice with that, would be follow what really makes you high and happy. Follow that. Get concentrated and learn with, focus your mind. That's the problem. So many people have an undisciplined, unfocused mind, and they just wander like a pinball machine, just bouncing off. I mean, you can see it everywhere. Stay focused. Now, that doesn't mean to be anal about it. That doesn't mean you can't have a good time. For me, the sense of humor and common sense are really big players. So I try and encourage people to have fun. Let joy naturally come out, and enjoy it, what's going on. You know, so that's something that and common sense. Just use your common sense.
Yeah.
Very simple. You know.
It is.
So simple, you know, common sense and sense of humor, and stay focused. Know where you're going.
I love it.
Know where you're going, you know, and don't have any. You see, the mind will create fears and lack and all this stuff, and victimization. The mind does that stuff, and it's not real. None of that's real. None of that's real, and that's what we need to transcend. And so my advice to someone starting in this field is learn, read, study, meditate, enjoy life, be in nature, let nature be your teacher, stay concentrated, have a good time, don't necessarily sacrifice your own life force. And by that I mean, you know, you don't have to, you know, treat everybody in the world and stay up late and do all this kind of stuff. If you want to, you go right ahead. But if I was to take a young person under my wing, the things that I would probably start working with them would be say, okay, we got to learn how to focus and concentrate. By learning to do that, then all the academic will come. That will all come.
Yeah.
You know, it's very interesting. It's like I've never, in 40 plus years, I've never seen anyone anatomically perfect. The only place I've seen that is in a book.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to know that. You got to know that. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe the colon isn't where it's supposed to be because it's prolapsed because of 50 years of white bread. I don't. You know, I'm just giving an example. You know, but the thing is that you pay attention. Be in the moment. Know what it is where you're going. Keep in your heart. Trust your intuition. Allow your insight to come forth. Pay attention. Be spontaneous. Don't get locked in. I know when I treat patients, I always ask myself, is there something else going on? Could it be more than what's I just see? Is there is there more to this?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because I'm looking, just, I gotta cover it, you gotta cover it, you know, that's the job, that's the job.
Great, thank you.
Great, you're welcome.
Lastly, how would you define success?
Well, for me personally, success is feeling good, feeling comfortable, feeling good, feeling happy, feeling feeling as though I put it all on, I put it all out, I just gave it all. Give it away. I mean, that's my thing, is just keep giving it away, keep giving things away, just keep giving. Because the karma of generosity is abundance. So you just keep on giving energy, you get more energy coming to you. So that's kind of like on that.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome, dear.
I enjoyed getting to learn more about you.
I enjoyed getting to being with you and seeing your bright, beautiful eyes. Thank you.
Thanks. So you received your education in multiple schools, one of them being Chengdu, another one being in Beijing. You study natural medicine because you feel it fulfills your life purpose.
Correct.
Some things you do for fun are martial arts such as Tai Chi and Qigong, riding your bicycle, as well as letting life lead.
That's right. Oh, I like chess and things like that too. I enjoy board games, Chinese checkers and chess and yeah, things like that I enjoy also. I like to play.
Yeah.
It's like I said, my computer may beat me at chess, but it won't beat me at kickboxing.
Oh gosh, no it will not. Your advice to future practitioners would be to study, to be honest, and to stay present and stay focused.
Yeah, it's very simple. Study. Ask yourself questions. Meditate. Value and see that value in your experiences. Those are 4 big things for me. Study, inquiry, meditation, and experience.
It's well-rounded.
Well, you see, that's the thing, and for me, I was raised and groomed in the 80s and 90s by, this is when China just opened up, so I got a chance to be with the elder before they died, before the doctors and professors, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get into those guys, you know, before they were no more, and that was part of my motivation. You know, it's just like, if I'm going to learn this, I got to go to where I can learn it.
The source.
I got to go to the source, and I got to find the guys who really know, and because it's always being changed, and things are being changed, maybe not in the best way. They're just being change is inevitable. Change happens every second, every moment. It's always happening.
Definitely. All right. Anything else you'd like to share with me today?
I know what I know of you. I mean, because we do have somewhat of a co-worker relationship. I see great potential in you.
Thank you.
I see that you have the makings, and you're developing, and I see that. And it's really nice to see that in others. The nice thing about working here is that there are other people, young folks like yourself, who are now aspiring into going into this field. And it's really important because medicine is changing rapidly, very fast. So it's nice to have young, inquisitive minds getting engaged. And that's actually part of my job nowadays is, I mean, I'm pushing 70. I'm going to be retiring at some point in my life. And it'll be nice to leave a little bit of a legacy behind of having a good amount of people get involved and get their certifications, licensing, etc., education. And probably there's about 15 people already that I've helped encourage and some even push through the door. And now they're doctors, naturopaths, acupuncturists, nutritionists, public health officials. They're doing all kinds of things now. So that's good to me, and right now here we have people here that are also going that direction. And that's my next job, is that there's 3 young ladies here who are involved in a herbal program, and I'm going to encourage them and be a cheerleader so they can keep going. And of course, I'll be happy to be with them and help out and answer questions if I can and things like that.
Thank you.
But that's my job is to get others who want to be in this field into the field.
Yeah, that's a great
That's my
legacy
job.
to leave. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that I leave a legacy to where people will also take up where I left off. And what I want to do is I want to get the young people I mentioned, like yourself, up to my level
Yeah.
quick,
Yeah.
without having to, I've got the 40 years, let me give you the condensed 40 years, and then you can take that and run and here's your compass
There we
and your
go.
azimuth, and you can set your course and see how it works.
What a great service. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
And thank you for your time today.
My pleasure, dear.
If I have any more questions, am I available to call you?
Oh, of course,
email?
of course.
Wonderful.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you, Malik.
Thank you, Ms. Meghane.